What up, YouTube? It's your boy Trail back with another video. Hey man, today man, we're gonna do another reaction to 10 foods. 10 foods that were invented for another purpose. Now, I seen the 7 Up bottle going through YouTube, and I'm like, now what could a 7 Up been for us instead of what it's been to us, whatever. So, man, I'm finna get right into this video. Comment, like, subscribe, turn our post notification bell on. Let's get it.
It's a little hard to believe, but the first product we're going to talk about today will celebrate its anniversary in just 9 years. In 1929, it will be 100 years since it was first prepared. The Howdy Corporation, founded by Charles Liper Grigg in 1920, originally specialized in the production of orange-flavored drinks. However, there was already a popular orange soda on the market, so he had to come up with something new to increase sales. Thus, in 1929, Grigg thought of creating a refreshing drink that would taste like lemon and lime. The resulting product was unlike any other drink and quickly gained popularity. However, at that time, almost 100 years ago, it was not called 7-Up, but Bib Label Lithiated Lemon Lime Soda, and it only got its current name by 1936, and it's time you learned about its main secret. The drink was wildly popular, not just because of its unusual taste. The fact is that originally, 7-Up contained lithium citrate. Today, this mood stabilizer is used by doctors to treat manic states and bipolar disorder. Previously, there was a popular belief that lithium
Say what? It was what in it? What was that?
dissolves uric acid, which causes a huge
Jesus Christ. All right, come on.
number of diseases. For this reason, lithium citrate was a popular additive. Well, 7-Up, or rather its predecessor, was sort of a medicinal drink. It wasn't until 1948 that the substance was removed from the beverage, after its use was banned in the US. Graham crackers. The story of how this product was invented is very interesting. Graham crackers are a delicious treat which can be used to make pie crusts, consumed in the original form, or as s'mores with chocolate and marshmallow. Either way, it's a sweet and not very healthy treat. In the past, however, it used to be very different. The Reverend Sylvester Graham was responsible for the creation of the Graham crackers. He was famous for sticking to strict limits in his food. The man, who lived in the early 19th century, believed that in order to stay healthy, people must stop enjoying their food. His diet was vegetarian and consisted mainly of bread made from coarse ground flour. As he preached actively, Graham built up a whole bunch of supporters, and it was for these people that Graham flour and then Graham crackers were invented. Despite the fact that the Reverend himself didn't create the crackers and had nothing to do with their production, the snack still bears his name.
I eat a honey-made Graham from Nabisco.
Since
Man, I didn't even know some of this stuff was around that long. 1920 for 7-Up. This is like the doggone really early 1900s. Like, Jesus Christ, I didn't even know this stuff was around this long. Gosh.
Beginning of mass production in 1898, the recipe has been modified repeatedly, but in our opinion, this is only for the best. Coca-Cola. The most popular non-alcoholic drink in the world has more secrets than you think. It is generally believed that Coca-Cola was created on May the 8th, 1886. However, this is only true if we're talking about the classic version of the drink. In fact, Coke's history started even earlier, around 1863. It was then that the French alchemist Angelo Mariani developed the recipe for coca wine. This alcoholic beverage was created from coca leaves and was extremely popular. Even famous personalities such as Jules Verne, Alexander Dumas, and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle were fond of it.
Dude, this is like being in school
Don't
all over again,
overpay
like
for
history
Best
classes
Buy.
on.
Wikibuy can save you money. It's a browser extension that automatically.
At the same time, there was a pharmacist named John Stith Pemberton who lived in America. He was involved in the Civil War, during which he became a morphine addict. In an attempt to find a cure for it, he came across information about coca wine. Pemberton came up with the idea of creating his own version of the magic beverage, and that's how Pemberton's French wine coca appeared. The product was marketed as a cure-all for many diseases: nervous disorders, physical and mental exhaustion, constipation, headaches, nervous breakdown, impotence, and of course, morphine addiction. It was miraculous. Soon, however, the recipe had to be changed. The temperaments movement in 1886 led to the appearance of a non-alcoholic version. However, before becoming the drink that we all know and love, Coca-Cola went through a lot of transformations. After all, it was originally patented as a cure for nerve disorders.
Wow.
Cornflakes. Oddly enough, this
Coca-Cola
simple
was
and delicious breakfast
medication.
is related to Reverend Graham, the one we mentioned before. Cornflakes were distributed under the brand Kellogg.
Now, I heard a story about cornflakes, how it was made. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to let this guy say it. Now, what I heard is disturbing. So let's see what you say, man, see if it's true.
Cornflakes and marketed as part of Graham's diet. According to the creators' beliefs, they had the ability to reduce indigestion and even fix morally destructive behavior. It all started in the late 19th century. Graham's vegetarian movement was taking over the country, and his followers were actively experimenting with different kinds of grains. The idea was straightforward then: creating new, more affordable and cheaper food that would be aligned with the Reverend's commandments. Cornflakes, however, were not the result of trial and error. To be honest, it was a completely accidental invention. On May the 31st, 1895, John Harvey Kellogg and his younger brother Will Keith Kellogg were working with wheat. The men boiled the grains, left them to cool, and went to the health resort where they worked as caretakers. When the men returned, they found that the wheat had turned hard. Since the brothers didn't have much money, they didn't throw it away. The men rolled it out, hoping to get some kind of dough sheet. To their greatest surprise, the result was
This is Peacock.
Peacock, baby.
It's streaming.
Interesting.
And it's free. E.T. free. Make way for Naughty. We made it free.
Very interesting.
and delicate flakes. The brothers then toasted them, fed their patients, and very soon the new dish became popular in the sanitarium. After experimenting with other grains, the Kellogg brothers eventually realized that corn was the best option. In 1907, the product was introduced to the general public. However, in order to make cornflakes appeal to everyone, they decided to sweeten them, and that's how the popular breakfast came into being. Dr. Pepper.
Alright, before we get to the next item, yeah, back to my cornflakes. Yeah, I was told something stupid. I'm still not gonna say it because I don't look stupid myself. So interesting. All this is very interesting because again, I didn't know a lot of this stuff was even been around so doggone long, way before I was even born or thought of. So yeah, it's crazy. So Dr. Pepper, here it is.
This is the third soda on our list, but what can we do if many popular drinks were originally created not only to quench your thirst? Despite the fact that Coca-Cola is still one of the most popular drinks in the world, Dr. Pepper appeared at about the same time. By the way, the protagonist of this story is also a pharmacist, Charles Alderton, a resident of Waco, Texas. When he invented his drink in 1885, he decided to sell it in pharmacies as a medicine. He made some very serious medical claims in the very first adverts. According to him, Dr. Pepper could improve digestion, give you strength, make people more energetic and active. It sounded like a nice tonic drink. Nothing of it was true, of course. However, because of the large amount of sugar in the drink, people did feel a small rush of energy. Salisbury steak. If you come across a
Salisbury steak. Hey, dude, we used to eat those for dinner when I was younger. I have not had that in a long time, man. Oh man, that brings back so much memories, man. Hey, man, those things was good, man. With some mashed potatoes with the peas on the side. Mom used to Put them biscuits in the oven, man. Hey, we ate. You hear me? We ate.
Steak in the supermarket, you should know that once upon a time it was widely considered a cure for many diseases. The creator of this delicious dish is believed to be American physician James Salisbury. During the US Civil War, he worked as a military doctor. That's when he found out that diarrhea, which affected soldiers on a massive scale, could be stopped with a special diet: coffee, lean chopped beefsteak, and nothing else. A little later, he became fond of healthy foods and strict diets, but his idea of healthy was very peculiar. Salisbury believed that people are predators, and that's why we have fangs. The doctor also believed that vegetables and food containing starch were the cause of most diseases, and that's how he got the idea for a Salisbury steak. It's minced beef seasoned with onions and spices. The resulting steak is roasted or boiled and served with brown sauce. Since 1888, Salisbury has actively promoted this dish as a path to health and longevity. He suggested eating it 3 times a day with plenty of water to cleanse the digestive system.
Why almost all these things I just seen talking about a cure for some sickness? Salisbury steak, Coca-Cola, what? 7-Up, bruh. What is going on? These things definitely don't do none of these. But if they do, we can use it right now for this coronavirus.
Goo Goo clusters. There was a terrible period in US history known as the Great Depression. In 1929, the stock market collapsed, which led to an economic crisis. And so, like dominoes, one after another, the consequences began to affect companies and then ordinary people. The unemployment rate jumped from 3 to 25%. Another disaster was a drought that destroyed many crops all over the country. People who had jobs were considered lucky, but even they didn't always have enough money to feed themselves. Why are we telling you all this though? Well, because Goo Goo Cluster cookies are an important part of this story. In the 20s and 30s, they only cost a nickel and were actively promoted as a nutritious, high-calorie lunch. Since the working class was constantly undernourished, Goo Goo Cluster were indeed very valuable. These treats were delicious and relatively inexpensive. Chewing gum. Up to the 1760s, people actively used various resins as gum, but we wanted to talk about the chewing gum we consume today. It all started when Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna fled to New York, taking a large number of chicle with him. Chicle is a natural gum harvested from Mesoamerican trees. The general sold the chicle to New York inventor Thomas Adams. He tried to use it to create a replacement for rubber, but none of his attempts were successful. Then Adams remembered the general's habit of chewing chicle and tried to make a chewing gum out of it. The first batch of chewing gum was sent to the stores in 1871, and surprisingly, sold out almost immediately. Thomas Adams continued manufacturing.
Dude.
I would say that a smart security system is 100% essential
1871.
It saves you time, it saves you money,
Man. Oh man, 1871. That's a long time
manufacturing
ago.
it, learned how to add flavors, and so gradually his chewing gum conquered the world. Brandy. The history of this strong drink is closely linked to the history of wine. The fact is that in the 17th century, merchants didn't transport wine in the most usual way. Before transportation, excess water was removed from the drink. Needless to say, it reduced in volume. This was a great idea, because, first of all, it was easier to transport it, and secondly, trade taxes were reduced. It was very easy to return the wine to its original state. You just had to add the same amount of water. Traders did this for quite a long time, until at one moment something went wrong, so to say. Someone drank the concentrated wine and realized that after being stored in a wooden barrel, it tasted much better than wine. That's basically how brandy was created. Since then, grape wine has been distilled not for transportation, but to produce this spirit. However, brandy has another chapter in its story as well. It was first produced in France in 1313. However, it was used exclusively as a cure. Doctors called it the water of life. Cheese puffs. The last product we're going to talk about today is cheese puffs. Turns
Cheese
out
puffs.
they also appeared by accident. Strange as it may seem, it all started at an animal feed factory in the 1930s. Corn kernels were actively
1930s.
ground and flaked here using large industrial machines. One day, Edward Wilson noticed something strange. The waste corn powder blew up from the heat, turning into unusual puffs. After some experiments, he managed to create a snack, and it wasn't actually that hard. He only had to add spices.
It's not easy being cheesy.
Psst, dude, are you looking for new technologies and great gadgets? Are your thoughts focused on the future? Do you love
Alright, y'all, I'm gonna end it right there. Man, I swear it felt like I was back in school, dude. Like I'm in history class, dog. Like, man, that's a lot of stuff I didn't know about. Man, a bunch of this stuff was made long time ago. Obviously, some stuff was made on accident. Well, I mean, heck, whatever. But yeah, it's kind of very interesting. Hey, man, y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all like this video. Hey, comment, like, subscribe. It's your boy Trail. Until next time, peace.